Wherever you are. Welcome to another show of Undiscovered Gems. Boy, do we have somebody that's going to give you a lot of gems today. Her name is Shayna Blackmar. Shayna is a shamanic Reiki expert. She also does shamanic Reiki on animals. Want to find out about that. And she balances your 12 chakras in your body to make you feel superhuman. We're going to find out a lot about what Shayna does today. Shayna, welcome to the show.
Thank you.
Glad you can be here. Tell us, I want to know before the audience, what is shamanic Reiki? I've heard of Reiki, but what is shamanic Reiki?
Absolutely. So regular Reiki is very calming and peaceful, and the client lays on the table, and the practitioner, me or another practitioner, is the conduit of the light, and it just flows through to where it needs to go. With shamanic Reiki, I'm connecting with the person's higher self or soul essence and with source. And so I receive guidance throughout the session for whatever needs to happen, and that can come through in different ways. I always cut cords, clear the life force channel. And that's interactive with breath work. So it's not just light flowing through, it's a collaboration with the person, which makes it extremely just more effective because you've got both people are working together. Sometimes there's connecting with the person's tree of life. We're clearing and balancing the chakras. Just kind of depends on what the person needs at that time. I also incorporate sound healing into it because raising the frequency is of the essence, is very important part of the process as well.
Got it. So tell us, how did you get into this business? I don't think you grew up and said, I want to be a shamanic Reiki expert. How did you get here?
Yeah, I didn't know what any of those words meant.
I know, right?
I became an esthetician about 20 years ago.
Okay.
And through my own healing journey, wanted to help others, and that was what came through at that time. And I started noticing at the beginning of that career how I would feel what my clients were feeling. I would be exhausted after my shifts, and it just really was wondering to the universe, what is going on? What is happening here? And I learned about being an empath and how the energy exchange that happens with people, and that some are more sensitive to that kind of exchange than others, and clearing energy and protecting my boundaries and that kind of thing. And so that got me started on this whole other offshoot of information that I didn't know about of energy healing. So then one of my facial clients actually told me about Reiki, and I had never heard of it. I had no idea what it was, but it was one of those things where I had to know all about it immediately. So within months, I went and became a Reiki master.
Nice. Well, you did mention something. You said you learned along the way as you were dealing with your, I guess, health concerns. What motivated you? If you had a health concern, you went away from a traditional taking meds and all that kind of stuff, and you moved towards something which is alternative. Tell us about that, please.
Right, because I was doing a traditional approach, and it only made things worse and caused a lot of other problems. And so after years and various experiences, I was kind of like, nope, this isn't working. I've got to try something else. And just was searching other ways. Found the energy healing. I did acupuncture for many years.
Oh, wow.
And then I discovered Ayurveda, and that for me was like coming home. It helped me heal and come back into balance at a just cellular level. And that I've been able to incorporate and actually use with my shamanic work a lot, because that is based on the elements, as is Ayurveda. So Ayurveda gave me this this deep understanding of not only the physical body, but the world around us, because everything on the planet is made of the same elements. So that was another kind of segue into energy healing for me as well.
So you had dealt with animals. Are there animals of any and all sizes? Can you do worms? Can you do birds? I don't know. What types of animals have you performed Reiki on?
Yes, so I just connect with their higher self in the quantum field. So I can connect with anything. I have not tried it on worms.
So you don't need to actually hold them. You can just be in the midst, presence of the animal.
Yeah, I mean, you can do Reiki in person, of course. I've found the shamanic work that I do to be more effective virtual, because then there's no distractions.
Right.
And I can get as much information as I need from the animal, ask what they need, what they want, see their wounds, clear their chakras. And with animals, it's really beautiful. They're really fast to respond, because they're only holding this lifetime, this incarnation in their chakras and in their tissues. Versus a human, we have a lot more to unravel. So it takes longer to get down to the root cause of some things. So animals are super responsive, and they're here to help us. And the more, I can do to help them, the better. Like, it's always a really beautiful experience to do an animal healing.
Right. Yeah. Now, there's many conversations about how horses connect to the person that's riding, and they become one, and all that good stuff. And walking horses and dealing with horses is healing in itself. Have you ever dealt with a horse?
I have worked with horses in person and virtually. And I actually just went on a trail ride recently, and that was really magical. And the horse and I were also clearing the land at the same time during the trail ride. And, the horses had this beautiful, big magnetic heart field, electromagnetic field. Their field was like 4 times as big as ours. And just you come into sync with them, with their big, expansive heart, and it just brings you peace. That's where we used to be as humans, as light beings, and so it always feels good to be around them, because it's almost like a remembering of what we used to feel like, of what things should feel like when we're really expanded.
Right. And you're out of Austin, Texas. So if somebody comes to see you, what could they expect when they walk through the door? Either you work at your home office, whatever. What could they expect when they walk in?
Yeah, in person, they could start either with a group sound bath. I do sound baths at my house, or they could start with a shamanic Reiki session. And I do them out of my home. I take over my living room and set it all up for the session. There's a table for the shamanic Reiki sessions, and there's a little bit of sound healing at the beginning to start raising the consciousness, raising the vibration, get things moving, the energy flowing. And then we work down through the body with whatever needs to be cleared, and then a little bit more sound healing at the end to fill that space up that has been created, that they've worked through. And we talk a little bit at the beginning of what's going on for them and what they want to focus on, and then at the end process everything that they felt and experienced, what came through for me to share with them, that kind of thing.
Right. And what when you're performing Reiki, not shamanic Reiki, how do your clients respond? Like, what is give us a story about a really tough client that you had that obviously you were successful at the end, but it was a challenge for you.
With regular Reiki?
Or shamanic Reiki?
Yeah, I mean, regular Reiki, I don't recall ever having anything challenging.
Mm-hmm.
With shamanic Reiki, let's see, my most challenging was a client who was having a really, really difficult personal situation, relationship that she was trying to get out of and struggling with her own just patterns, negative patterns, trying to break free and move forward into this new life that she could see but couldn't bridge, couldn't get there. And so we did multiple sessions over a year, about every 2 months, I think. And she was able to cut all cords to that person, cut all ties. She was able to take her power back. She was able to maneuver, one step at a time without succumbing to being overwhelmed, because the life that she envisioned was so far away. It was too. So it was really beautiful to guide and help her take her power back and do it. And now she is, living her dream, and it's so beautiful.
Yeah, that is. You always want to see people in the end get what they want. Work so hard to get to that point. So that is an awesome story. I always get touched by those types of stories. So you have your business in Austin. How long have you been in practice? And was it tough getting started?
Let's see. I've been a Reiki master for 12 years. And doing the sound healing for 5 years, or maybe 6 years.
Okay.
And the shamanic Reiki 3 or 4 years now. And I was overlapping the being an esthetician and the Reiki for many years. It was a long time before I was ready to just do the energy healing work. And it takes a while to build your clientele and your business, like with anything. So it's been a slow, kind of steady climb.
And do you market regularly to your general region where you're located?
I do my best. However, my skill set is in energy work, not in marketing.
Understood.
So yeah, I mean, I do social media and Instagram and Facebook. Try to stay up on that. Sometimes I have to take a break, and I send out regular emails to my email list and things like that. So word of mouth and referrals is honestly the best thing for me.
All the time, and it's more genuine that way.
Yeah. And some of this work is hard to explain, but when people have experienced it, the depth of feeling that they have and what they share comes through.
Right. Do you were you mentored by anyone? Are you mentoring anyone?
I worked with a couple different healers, some as mentors, some as teachers, some just as healers to help me move through certain things. And I'm in the process actually of compiling everything I've learned over the past 15 years into a galactic shaman teaching program.
Do you have any people in your life right now that have gone through a process that you had to personally heal, like a family member where you came to their aid because you knew that you can help and they were being treated traditionally? Or a friend, close friend.
Let's see who is the best example. The friend who was stuck with that bad relationship, she also had an instance where she had a really bad injury on one of her hands at one point, and was working to heal it and wasn't quite sure what to do, and ended up at the hospital for a various set of circumstances that just it was like the perfect storm.
Wow.
Luckily everything was saved and it was okay. But then we worked with some Ayurvedic remedies and a lot of light and energy healing.
Mm.
I showed her how to do, but she did it. Like, she worked on it and was very diligent about flooding her hand with white light every single day. And now it's like nothing happened. It's incredible.
No, that's great. That's awesome. Your practice involves these 12 chakras. Can you tell us about the 12 chakras? I've heard about the chakras, and they go through your body and they're stacked, and each one does a different thing. But how do you get to them? How do you activate them? I think that's more spiritual than physical. But how do you activate them?
So the traditional 7 is what we're most familiar with.
Okay.
Are
Great.
always active. And as we do our healing work and rise in frequency, more chakras are activated into what's known as the 12 chakra system. And so they're interconnected. It's like an energy center. They're interconnected with our physical, our emotional, our mental bodies.
Yeah.
So while you can't, physically see it on a scan or an X-ray, you can see it with your third eye if someone has that ability.
Yeah. Right.
But so we know they're there, like, energetically, and each one connects with things that are in the region where it's located. Like, sacral chakra is connected to everything physical in that region.
Right.
And that kind of thing. And so as we continue to do our healing work and other chakras are activated, there's a galactic chakra in between, or womb chakra in between the sacral and the solar plexus, and that is where the masculine and the feminine energies come together for creation. That's where we create our new ideas, where we manifest our reality from. And then moving up, another chakra that is activated is what's called the higher heart, which is above the heart chakra. And that is where we're expanding even more through the heart and activating more of our heart-centeredness and our connection. There's an earth star chakra beneath our feet that helps us stay grounded and connected with the earth. Above the head, there's the soul star chakra, and then even further above that is our stellar gateway chakra, which is directly with source. So more comes online as we are ready for it.
Right. Now, you mentioned your client base. How often, give the audience your menu, the different services you provide. I'm trying to give them a good sense and feel. They already know you, they know your business, how long you've been into it, but what makes them come along and want to visit? Give us examples of what you see that would be an example, or something that you've done in the past.
Absolutely. So there's sound healing, there's the shamanic Reiki, that is a deeper healing than traditional Reiki. If the person is ready to really expand, there's what's called the God Code healing, which is galactic shamanic work. We're clearing out patterns that have been throughout your ancestry, your family, past life, that kind of thing. So if you're ready to expand, that is a really perfect one. There's also land clearing, where sometimes, a lot of times, people use the word haunted for either a place or the land, and it's where lost and trapped souls have gotten stuck for various reasons. And so can help clear any dense or stuck energy that can happen in a place as
Right.
well. So that's very powerful, and oftentimes it can go back, generations, depending on what happened in that particular location. And all of this healing is essentially clearing blocks for energy to flow, whether it's in the land, in your animal, in your body, in your chakras. So we're clearing so that everything can flow.
Sure. When you're performing your services, have you dealt with anyone that like just, so much was pent up inside of them, stress and anger and all these things were pent up inside him or her, and you started performing? Question one, do you end up taking on their energy? And question two, did you take care of someone that just had it was a breakthrough and they just, emotionally just felt it?
To the first question, I used to, because I didn't know any better. I used to take on people's energy because I wasn't taught how not to. As I've learned more and practiced more, I've learned how to protect my own energy field so it's flowing through me, and basically source is helping do the healing. I'm not taking it on trying to do it myself. And that, and I realized, in hindsight, it was a little bit of ego thinking, oh, I'm going to do this myself. But it was actually, one, not as effective for the client, and two, uncomfortable and painful for me because I would take it on, right?
Right.
So I don't do that anymore. It's transmuted, it's moved, it's released, it's cleared. And then I do clear my energy field, because just being in proximity with someone, even just like this virtually, we're connecting. And so I clear my field after I'm around anybody so that I'm not processing other people all the time. In order to do my work effectively, I have to keep myself clear. So it's part of my responsibility in order to be able to help people.
Right.
And then, I've had quite a few experiences where get into the session and people will be, I think the best way I can describe it is they feel held and they feel safe, so that when something does come up, they're okay being vulnerable and releasing it and letting things flow, letting it move out, because it's coming up to be healed, it's coming up to be cleared. Those are really powerful sessions when that can happen.
Right. Do you happen to have you ever worked on any athletes? Even if they're high school athletes,
Not professional ones, but people who
professional
are.
ones too. Yeah, I'm asking.
Well, I haven't done any professional ones, but other people who are, who are just athletic, yes.
Yeah, I was just asking because trying to do massage, Reiki, those things on a athlete is definitely a different experience than someone who's not. And I was going to ask you what those differences are.
Well, I have a little bit of understanding. I didn't play professionally, but I played volleyball all through like middle school, high school, and college. So I'm familiar with the different approach. You want to help heal people so that they can continue playing, right? Not just they can walk and live.
Right.
And there was one client I remember who, she was super, super active, super athletic, wanted to skateboard and ride her bike. And she was just always doing something and hurt her ankle. And we were able to do quite a few sessions and heal it without having to do surgery. And now she's back up and doing all kinds of
things. You got to do that. You got to be knowledgeable enough to know that there are alternatives. I mean, if it's a surgery that's so bad and far off, you got to do it. But there are alternatives for sure.
Yeah, so, and it's great even if you have to have surgery or any sort of treatment done. It's something that works in conjunction with other treatments as well.
Gotcha. Yeah. What did you think when you had your illness and you began to work on yourself, how long did it take for you to start connecting the dots and say, this is doing better, this isn't? And then you apparently kept going so that you can learn your craft. But you being sick was the platform that was growing just from that experience. Is that correct?
Yes, and I find with so many clients too that often illness is the silver lining is that it catapults people into really going inward and tuning into themselves, tuning into what's working, what isn't, and really just on learning how to honor their body. And that's what it was for me as well. And I'm a very sensitive person physically, with things that
Hmm.
I eat, things that I sense, candles, things like that. So I guess now I consider it a superpower. One of the things, like, I can tell immediately if something is toxic.
All right.
I can either smell it, I can feel it, things like that. So the I was able to tell right away because of that sensitivity if something was working for me or if it wasn't.
Yeah, yeah. That's all of this is really mentally, spiritually moving. If there's no spiritual aspect to it, I don't know how someone can get healed, because it's the faith and believing that you are going to get healed, and this thing is, whatever you're doing to them is going to happen. It's going to make it. And I'm leading you into a question because stress is a silent killer. Um, and people walk around with loads of stress every day and don't even realize it. Um, is there something that you do in your practice, even if they didn't tell you they were stressed out? Is there something that you do to deal with that or any other ailment someone might have? You just automatically do it. They don't have to tell you.
Well, helping them raise their frequency, and a lot of it in that scenario is helping them mentally, helping them take their power back mentally,
Mm, mm,
because you know we are our thought forms, everything. And that's one of the beautiful things about shamanic work. Is one of the main tenets of shamanism is that everything has consciousness.
mm,
Whether you're working, you could be talking to this table. Yes, it has consciousness. We're going to work together and it's going to be, support me and my work for the rest of my days. Um,
right.
but as far as people having a lot of stress, it makes us think negative thoughts, right? Because it's hard. It's stressful. it's heavy. Um, but then it can be this cycle, this loop that we get sucked into, and it's hard to break out of those lower frequencies, the
Hmm.
fear, the anxiety, the grief, the guilt. Um, a real game changer is I've actually talked quite a bit about mantras in other podcasts, because
Mm,
you can use that mental energy. If you're stuck in a mental loop, fine, use it for something better.
mm,
Use it to raise your vibration up out of those lower frequencies. Use it to help you. So things like, I am healthy, I am healed. Say that
mm.
1,000 times a day and it will manifest.
Right. Technology is playing a role in every business across the globe. Is it playing a role in the work that you do?
Absolutely. I mean, it helps with marketing and getting information out there and sharing things like this. That'll be able to be shared with way more people than if I were just focusing locally. Um, and then also just being able to do the work virtually is wonderful. I could help someone who resonates with my work across
Right.
the globe. They don't have to be in the same village. So absolutely.
Well, Shayna, we got about the show went so fast. We got about 15 seconds left. Please give the audience something that they should take away from this interview your undiscovered gems, what do you have to say to them?
Let's see, use your mantras and protect your peace. Your peace is very important.
Everything. I love that. Your peace is everything. I love that. I talk about that all the time. Shayna, thank you. Professional of the Year, Shayna Blackmar, thank you for attending the show. Hope to see you again. It was a great show. Thank you.
Thank you.